Hey, this is Matthew Harvey here at the 12 o'clock Siren recording live in the 903 Broadband Studios at Cowboy Corner on the southeast side of the downtown Leonard Square. On my left hand is James Black-Eyed P. Hartley.
I did have some.
Did you?
Yeah, I had some cabbage.
You got some black-eyed peas on the old New Year's Day?
Very traditional family we are.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it a process to make them?
No, it doesn't really matter how you make them for that day. But we did the black-eyed peas. I think we did cabbage this year. Usually we do like collard or mustard greens or something. What about you?
I always listen to the black-eyed peas.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. Every New Year's Day,
That was a
I
smooth
listen
transition, though.
to the black-eyed peas. I just turn it up real loud. No, I don't. I really don't.
That's
Sorry.
not that. That's a pretty feel-good song, though.
It is.
You know, I mean, if I want to be honest,
When it came out, it probably made me dance once or twice.
yeah, it's not like admitting you listen to Nickelback or something.
Correct.
You know, that'd be terrible.
Correct.
That'd be terrible.
Well, Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too.
It is
It's been a minute.
2023, wrapping up 2022. We're going to do some sort of year in review here. We've
Yeah.
been a little spotty over 2022.
Yeah.
And I realized the other day that last year, I think we must have done a year in review over the phone, probably.
Yeah, we did.
But I don't think we listed any of the episodes. We didn't talk about each episode.
Oh, yeah.
Which the year before, we talked about each episode that we had done that year, which back then it was more than
Yeah.
it is now.
But good luck on me remembering these.
Yeah, so I'm going to see if you can remember what the first one we did
No.
in 2022 was.
Was it JDK?
That's a good guess. I didn't even do the show prep for this. I'm scrolling now to find
That's okay.
out.
Nobody listens anyway.
Well, that's true. But I think it was JDK. He was at the Texas Music Revolution, and if I'm not mistaken, we did the episode just before that.
Yeah, the noon whistle or whatever.
The whistle. He called it the whistle. He
Man.
called it the what was the other word?
The noon whistle or the midnight whistle or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
however wrong you could get it, he got it.
JDK got it wrong twice in conversation with me. It was really funny.
Yeah,
I've talked to him about it. We smoothed it out.
that's good. Y'all throw.
I
Throw
told Tony.
hands?
I told Tony. That's what I think
Yeah,
it was. I'm confusing things. Well, we did Texas Hill, another music artist.
we sure did.
You know, was here in studio.
I do remember that one. That was a good one. That's the dude, Casey James.
Yep.
Like all of them were from like The Voice or X Factor or America's Got American Idol or whatever.
They all had competitor experience.
Yeah.
TV
reality show.
not variety show. Reality contest show.
Yeah. One of them was on The Voice and one of them was on American Idol.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other one was on.
I just saw they're coming to Dallas soon.
Maybe we should do a second round.
They're on the big circuit. I guess I posted a lot this year. It's having a hard time going back that far.
Yeah, it's all good. You could just go to Spotify and look at our episodes.
Yeah, I could. That's a smart thing to do.
It would be much more economical.
You're right. You're so smart.
Optimized for efficiency.
Where were you? Where'd you start off your 2022? Because I know mine was in Breckenridge. You were down at the border at that point, right?
So I was having champagne at midnight or 12:01 a.m.
Yep.
on the patio of the Hilton Garden Inn. Shout out to the Air Force for best deployment accommodations.
Nice.
Yeah, we were at the patio drinking champagne at 12:01. I had gotten off shift that night at 11. From working on the border, and then we came and rang in the new year with our team. It was pretty cool.
Yep. Our first 3 days later, we actually did our year in review for 21 on
Wow.
January 4th. Must have phoned it in on that one. The first episode we did was with Kenneth Fuller, KW Construction and Design.
That's right. Kenneth's going to be doing some work for me in the future.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That was April 15th, 2022. KW
Yeah.
Construction. He missed one there.
Boy, he did.
Ken,
And
I'm going to have to talk to you.
We haven't been good friends. We missed it too.
Construction
now.
and Design. Keep that one in mind.
Most other contractors do construction. We do construction.
Yeah. Construction. We take the con out of construction
And put the kin
and put
in.
the ken in there. The ken stands for quality.
That's right. And loyalty.
Getting loyal.
And integrity, you know? So
You sound like a corporate mission statement.
I've spent some time in corporate America, you know?
That's a good start. But those are qualities of Kenneth.
Absolutely.
And KW, Construction and Design.
That's right. Now it sounds weird.
Yeah, it
We
does.
said it too much. Sorry, Kenneth. Don't use that now.
That was in April. We did a little recap with Kenneth, too. He stepped in with us.
Mm-hmm.
The next one we did was Mission 3105 with Sabrina and Jeannie.
We did.
They came in and talked about their
her husband passing and
her husband, Mr. Hull, and her Mission 3105, which is a nice thing, a nice gesture. What do you call it? Pay it forward. Every day in May, 31 days in 05.
Yeah.
Which I believe was his badge number.
Am I so.
Correct on that? I think so.
That's where my head went. So,
that was in May, of course, at the beginning of May.
Yep.
Makes sense. They went to Steamboat Music Fest this past week.
I'm jealous of that. Yeah. That's a bucket list item for me.
Yeah, me too.
I want to ski.
I think after that episode, we talked about it, and then I saw it happening. I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
That I have the potential to be real bougie there, because you can ski, which is kind of a bougie like white person sport.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say
it
that.
is. It is.
It's racialist.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, you know, we do silly things like throw ourselves down a mountain. It's like a white people thing, you know.
Yeah.
And they have hot spiced wine. Have you ever had that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mulled wine?
Mulled wine.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
You know?
It is. It's one of those things I wouldn't choose.
Yeah.
But when it's the only thing, you're like, this is pretty good.
So,
and I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying
yeah.
that's about the only way I would really.
Usually you get a beer or whatever.
I end up drinking it. Okay, that's pretty good.
Can I tell my hot spiced wine story?
Go for it.
Nobody listens, so
it's in the pre-show, so I mean, it's on the list.
So I go to Vail and I go skiing and I stop at the little warming hut and they have all the drinks you want. But because I'm a fantasy nerd and I read Game of Thrones before everybody was all into it, they talked about hot spiced wine all the time, and I was like, oh, here's my chance to have this thing that I've always thought sounded good, and it was good.
Yeah.
And so now I might choose it if it's on the menu.
Okay.
You know.
Is there a difference between hot spiced wine and mulled wine, or is it the same?
No, I think they're synonymous.
Cool. Yeah. Wine is hit and miss with me.
I love it.
Yeah. After that, Mission 3105, we talked with our old buddy Jimbo about his domino tournament, the Fannin County Domino Syndicate or something like that.
Forgot about it. That's good.
Yeah, I went to it.
Yeah.
I got beat my first round.
Yeah, I think I was still at the border then.
Yeah, you were. Sponge and I went up there, played. Jim did. I think Jim might have won it, as a matter of fact. His team won it. I think he cheated, but
of course,
that's another story.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
It was a good little turnout up there. What's it called? A little cafe there on the square in Bonham.
Yeah.
Brain farting. I think it was by myself. I did an episode with Little Big Supply.
Yeah.
You probably didn't listen to it. I don't expect you to have. But it was a fun talk with the guys who build up little smart cars.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I did listen to some of it, actually.
Don't lie.
No, I did. I listened to it as I was not napping on the border.
Sure.
You know?
Or doing your cold dips in the pool.
Cold dips in the pool. Cold plunge, man. 11 minutes a week.
All year long?
Yeah, I mean, you want to be below 35 degrees, 11 minutes a week.
Mm. Yeah, but Little Big Supply does lift kits and body modifications for smart cars. Cool stuff. Go check them out.
Very niche.
Very niche, but actually a blooming little business they have.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Pretty neat
with,
stuff.
With 8 billion people on the planet, a small niche can be a big business. You know what I mean?
I'd kind of like to get into it.
Was that?
To be
I just
honest,
put
I
out
really
some
would.
good marketing right there.
Say it again.
With 8 billion people on the planet, a small niche can be some big business.
Yeah, that's good.
Where's Kelsey
You
McGilvery?
need to tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
1% of one.
Yeah.
1%. All you need is 1% or 10%.
Yeah.
What's the cliche?
I don't know, but I'm just agreeing.
Yep. Little Big Supply. After that, May we hit 2. We hit 2 episodes
good.
in May. It's pretty
good.
solid. Not as many recaps I've noticed. 3. Jim and Smart Supply and JDK coming in at the end of May 31st.
Yeah, I remember that. I took that one from the old room at the Hilton.
That's right. Yep.
Oh.
You phoned that one in as well.
Yeah, in content quality and actuality.
Hey.
You know.
Hey, man, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
However, you made an in-person experience. Shout out to JDK, by the way.
Yep.
You had a in-studio appearance with Texas Hill.
Yeah, I was home on leave.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was a special one. We had everybody in studio. They were
is-
the headliners of the picnic that night. So it was kind of like a little pre-show. Imagine if you're at a massive stadium and the little sirens got the pre-show interview.
That was also where I probably aggravated a lot of our Republican listeners.
Oh, how so?
When I think it was Casey James is talking about his friend, how he's like not big on saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh.
And I said, well, as a citizen and a constitutionalist, I think it's totally okay to not want to do that because serving the state is not what this was intended for. You know.
Right.
And I'm sure most of our
Did you get any blowback?
Well, no, because nobody listens.
Oh.
But I was like, ugh. Some of the Main Street folks might find my libertarian principles there a little distasteful. But I said it might be the most patriotic thing you can do.
Yep.
You
It's
know?
arguable.
It is arguable. It's a perspective thing.
It's a tough one to have to accept,
Well, it's right.
or
It's-
not have to accept, but to accept, I guess.
So look, we make no bones about it on this show, right? I am right-leaning, no doubt, right? I have more in common with our Republican listeners than I do our Democrat listeners, for sure. However, I am a libertarian.
It's like burning the flag or disrespecting the flag.
Yeah.
Do I want to do it? Of course
But I
not.
support your right,
But that
you know? And it's just a perspective thing, man,
Freedom.
right? Like the whole thing about like the Kaepernick stuff, did I like that he kneeled? No, I didn't. But I found that more quote unquote respectful than like say the guys that instead of kneeling to make a statement, however you agree about a statement, the guys that instead just did their stretches while the national anthem was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
arguments about Kaepernick aside, I don't like
you can
him
still
and
stretch though if
Yeah.
you want to. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you want to do.
yeah. Now
That's how you spent your time.
that really rubbed me the wrong way.
Sure.
Yep.
But they can do it.
Anyway,
How
sorry
did
for the
we-
politics.
How did we get there?
Because that's our dominant pathway.
What were we on there?
I don't know. Oh,
What Texas Hill took
Texas
us
Hill.
to- How
Texas
did they
Hill.
do that?
because
They
that
weren't-
commie bastard refuses to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
No disrespect,
I'm
Adam,
kidding.
if I'm not mistaken.
Adam, yeah, I'm kidding. I liked Adam. They were fun guys.
They were
actually,
great.
That was
they were awesome.
that was a fun episode.
Craig, however, did not make it in.
Yeah, sorry, Craig, you missed out.
He did miss out. However, they said they'd come back. I don't think they did.
They did. They did. They said that.
Just trying to commit it to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did say they'd come back, and they were a lot of fun. Had a little impromptu session from them. They played with a penny or something like that. That was a good little episode if you want to go back and listen to it. In July, we skipped August altogether, just didn't do anything. And then September came in hot with roadie Matt Larson.
Oh,
And
such a good.
I got his name right that time. I
You
said
sure did.
Lawson the first time. I feel terrible
I
about it.
know, because I know you know his name.
I do.
I
I just goofed it.
Dude, that was such a cool episode for me, man.
Yep.
Like nobody else in the world but me, you, and Jim probably cared about it. But like,
It's got a lot of hits, believe it or not. I
Really?
think a lot of people may have enjoyed it.
so such a big part of our life, and such a late teens, early 20s, we were really into that, and man, that was a cool episode.
That was a
And talk about a sweet dude, like just a good person,
Yeah.
know, like.
w-
you know-
would I'm not familiar with the movie or necessarily the scene, but would it have been like an Almost Famous style kind of vibe?
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that is my what was the band in the Almost Famous? Stillwater.
Yeah.
They're kind of our Stillwater, man. Like we love that band. We still out of all that music that we don't listen to, I still jam them.
Yeah.
Still holds up too.
Yep. Good Times with Matt Larson.
Yeah.
20, what was it? What did we do the math on that? 20 years later, 21 years later?
Yeah, it was
on
to the day. To the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 9/11 area.
Yep.
Within a week.
That was crazy.
We met.
No, it was to the day that Jim met him.
That's right.
To the day that Jim met him that started our whole misadventures.
That's right. Very eerie stuff.
Yeah.
Cool stories there, man. That month in September, we talked with Kelsey McGilvery.
There she is.
Yep, from Vivint Ideas. She helped us get this benediction on the Square website and stuff going. Got
Looks
us some
fantastic.
Logos. Thank you. Yep, she did all the logo work and all that sort of stuff. Got the website planned out, and we just came up with a new little pricing guide that she did for us, too.
Okay, all right.
Looks pretty spiffy. We just got that on the website. But yeah, Vivint Ideas. She's out of Mineola.
Wait, we had this discussion. Is it Vivint or Vivant?
Well, I remember she said something to the effect of it's the hillbilly way.
Okay. Vivint,
or like it was some derogatory,
self-deprecating.
rural term. Vivint or Vivint, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, not Vivant.
Vivant.
Whatever.
Yeah, because I think I led off with Vivant.
Yeah.
She's like, nah, that's not how we say it.
Don't ever do that
Mineola.
again. Yeah.
Or however they say it in East Texas. Deep East Texas. It's not too deep, is it?
Nah. I mean, deeper than we are.
Says here we released that same episode the same day as we talked to Jamie and Tony Kent.
Oh, second time around with those guys.
Of the Whiskey Myers band.
That's fun. That's always fun. I love those guys.
Yeah. That was a 3 hour and 12-minute.
Yeah, I think we had a few barley pops.
3 hour meeting. So they played behind us at Webb Hill that morning.
That's right.
Come to find out, that afternoon we arranged a little podcast off the cuff. Yes, we did interview with Kelsey, and then they came in like right after that, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That was a good time.
It was.
That was in September 22nd. That was a big day at the old Siren.
We were doing work that day, weren't we?
October, we hit it up with Kevin Moore of TBG Cornhole.
Yep. That was a good episode. Loved it.
I
Loved
talked
Kevin.
to him today, making some good stuff. He put his stuff out on like one of those cornhole groups, and man, they go crazy after that stuff.
Really?
Yep.
That's good. Good for him.
And the last one we did this year, I guess you know who that was?
Mr. Racetrack himself.
Mr. Racetrack, Lou Gelati.
That's right.
Of the G2 Motorsports Park.
I wonder how that's
going. I didn't butcher
going.
that one this time, too.
Nope. Wonder how that's going.
I don't know. I meant to go out there for his Toys for Tots thing or whatever he was doing, and I forgot. But it was like an open track sort of situation, if I'm not mistaken.
Missed an opportunity there.
I know. What'd you think about that ride along?
I loved
we really had a chance to talk about that?
I don't guess we have, really.
Like how nervous you were? Were you nervous?
I was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. He's in the back seat and tall, too.
And we were also not in a race car. We were in a very nice car, and a very sporty one. Don't get me wrong. But he drove it like a race car.
Well, backstory, we had to drive over a bunch of dug up dirt and
rebar.
And, yeah. He didn't see a piece of rebar on the way to the track.
He treats his vehicles like they're work trucks, and it was probably $100,000 car.
I've seen him do it to a work truck on YouTube. There's a video of it.
Really?
But he treated this little Porsche Macan like it was a work truck.
Yeah, and it's probably a six-figure car. Close to.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's a little. I think it's like 60 to 80. To be quite honest,
that surprises me. It's that cheap.
It's the mid.
I mean, an F-250 is $86,000.
It's the mid-size Porsche. It's not the big one. So I didn't realize they made a mid-size one until I rode in that.
Well, let me tell you, it's sporty.
It was turbocharged.
Yeah, I mean, it got after it.
And it overheats after a mile and a half.
Yes, it does.
We found that out.
Yeah,
but he did drive over that rebar. And it crossed my mind to say something to him, but he was so determined that I didn't have it in me to do it.
Yeah, just like
say, hey, Was that okay or
Yeah.
anything? I just felt it hit the floorboard
Oh,
and probably under you too.
oh yeah, dude. I felt
feel it?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess it's got tire sensors. You know, like he'll figure it out.
Or it did.
he'll figure it out by turn 1, hopefully.
Hopefully not with my brain pan out there.
Then he proceeded to hit 117, 14,
114 or 17.
114
yeah, right.
on the straightaway.
Yeah, and it felt faster.
It did. It did. With no markers as to where to turn.
But he knew it. Yeah.
Kurt Gauss messaged in, said it was one of the Siren's best podcasts. He's a passionate listener.
Oh, well, thanks, Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt.
Yeah.
It's a good family friend of ours.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, that race episode, Gelati, was one of the best episodes or best work the Siren's done, something to that effect.
That's good.
Yeah, very kind words.
Well, that dude was definitely not scared to tell a story, and he was a nice guy, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he was. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So you're at the in the valley.
Yeah, until July.
You want to kick it off with some pop culture happenings?
Sure. Let's go for
I'm
it.
going to start it off with something that's probably the first thing that pop culture really happened was the slap heard around the world.
Oh, Will Smith?
That was like it's like award season now,
Yeah.
I guess. And that's about this time of year when that happened.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah. That was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
You get on social media, all you saw was that meme, and it was like, it just got down to like, you know, local donut store, slap in the face. Like everybody's just throwing their name on it. And I think we did too.
Well, I mean, you know, the whole brace yourselves, like winter is coming meme with the Game of Thrones.
Yes.
The first meme I saw was brace yourself, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock memes are coming, and it was an
recently.
Onslaught. No, it was
yeah.
right there, and we talked about it.
Yeah, it's iconic.
It's like I love memes, but our Facebook feeds for about 3 months is going to be that's the new template.
It was
just
solid.
Dropped, you know.
Yeah, it was a solid week, I'd say. It's not often that something takes hold for a week.
Yeah.
You know, or even 2 weeks, just that dominant. But yeah,
okay. So here's the thing about a recap, right? I'm looking through some of these stuff, and it's like January 8th, United Kingdom passes 150,000 COVID-19 deaths, the first country in Europe and the 7th globally.
Doesn't need to be there.
Do we really know that they were I mean, knowing what we know now with all the funky stuff, like,
yeah,
I think that's bullcrap.
We need to know that that Leslie guy, passed away.
Yeah,
that's what we need to know.
Dude, that kind of hurt my heart. I liked him.
Yeah.
January 9th, at least 200 people killed and 10,000 displaced let me tell you, somebody's plugged into geopolitics and whatnot. Don't have any recollection of this. At least 200 people killed and 10,000 people displaced by armed bandits in the northwestern Nigerian state after military raids on their hideouts amid continuing struggle for order in the region. Absolutely escaped my notice.
Yeah, didn't hear about it.
Yeah, let's skip a couple of these. January 10th, college football national championship, Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana. Number 3 Georgia beats number 1 Alabama 33-18.
Which they just did again.
Got a memory on my Facebook of me posting everybody in Alabama right now, and it was like Earl Dibbles smashing his TV or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
January 10th. Cryptocurrency, Binance CEO, now one of the world's richest billionaires with a net worth of $96 billion, according to Bloomberg.
Wow. I want to say he's out of Austin.
Really?
Somebody that was on Kill Tony said they dated him.
Oh, did this ever happen? Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or
probably should have got pregnant.
Yeah.
You know. January 11th, Quebec. Is that how you say that?
Quebec, the correct way, I believe.
I just redeemed myself for Deja Booty.
Never gonna let you live that down.
No, well,
Deja Booty.
It's kind of like your Matt Lawson thing. You knew the right way to say it, you just didn't.
I didn't.
I read it out and then immediately felt like the largest moron.
And that was in front of somebody who will judge you.
100%.
And you would kind of like to impress.
Yeah.
Should I rub it in more?
That's fine. It's okay. I'm
sorry.
I've come to terms with my loser status.
Y'all got me on that one episode about something. What was it?
I don't remember.
Grabbing a dude. the walking in the pub.
Yeah,
I'll
I
roast
need to go
myself.
back
I
and
don't
listen to that, man.
Oh, was that was with Matt? No.
No, it had to be with Jamie and Tony.
I think it might have been Brody Matt
Really?
because maybe he saw the story on Facebook
Yes.
and knew the story.
Yes.
And it came up. I
That's
think
right.
it came up pre-show or something.
And it might have came up. It might have bled into the recap.
Because we didn't let it. Nobody knew. Like in the episode, you wouldn't know the joke unless you're friends with me on Facebook and saw the post, probably. But we
That
were
was a
referring.
good
I think
time.
that's what it was.
I was firing on all cylinders on
you
that
got
one.
it like 50 times. It was really mean.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad.
So anyway,
Djibouti.
January 11th. I should go back to January 6th, 2022, and say that's the
1
year
year
anniversary of that quote unquote assault on democracy.
Yeah.
The
First 6 hours of the end of democracy.
By the way, as a right-leaning constitutionalist, those people are still being held without trial, which means their constitutional rights are being infringed upon. Right to a speedy and fair trial. Anyway, January 11th, Quebec announces it will impose a healthcare tax on unvaccinated adults who are accounting for 50% of ICU cases. And then they scrapped it February 22.
Nice.
Probably due to a January 6th style.
Probably due to the other 50% that were vaccinated.
Absolutely. They're like, you know what? This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. January 13th.
When did Ukraine start? Russia, Ukraine. Was it early in the year? Or was it the year before?
Phone, would you? January.
It wasn't 2021, was it?
January 13th, Britain's Prince Andrew stripped of his military titles and royal patronages by Buckingham Palace amid continuing sexual assault allegations, and he's still the only one that's seen any sort of fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein pedo island.
Yeah, that is weird.
You know why?
Even the royalty's like, yeah, we don't want to be associated with that.
At least they're the ones leading the way and at least making somebody pay.
Yeah, sure.
Because you know why? It's all our
And Harry's
leaders.
fighting them.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, so what does that mean?
I don't know.
Him and Prince Andrew cool?
I want to be honest, though. I'm a little upset with I care nothing about the royal family, okay? But I'm a little upset with old Prince Harry because, he was a combat grunt. Like, when he, as a royal member, he went into, like, an actual combat arms and did stuff in Afghanistan. Yeah. And it turns out he's a complete beta male.
Yeah.
Like, I did not see that one coming.
A spare.
Yeah.
A spare.
Yeah, he is. Like,
I watched a little, my wife watched the whole thing, and I watched a little part of it, and he mentioned, that we're in L.A. at our house, and we had to get out of there, blah, 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 blah. And a friend of ours just sent a private jet for us to get out and go to Mexico,
Shut up.
It was like, dude.
I hate you.
Do you hear yourself?
Yeah. They're so unattached to
that there. I was like, you know what, dude? You've already lived a life of absolute luxury, and you're still talking like this. You're not grounded whatsoever.
No.
I get you've had a very bizarre childhood upbringing and all that.
Let's see here.
Not relatable is what I would say about both of them.
January 16th, unvaccinated world number 1 tennis player Novak Djokovic.
He was getting banned.
Is deported by the Australian government on health and good order grounds without playing in the Australian Open. I wonder about all the athletes that are collapsing on the field lately.
Yep, happening more and more.
I wonder if they'll deport them.
I don't want to do all COVID related. That's the last COVID story we're going to do. Because the rest of the notable days in 2022 are all like, hey, millionth death in Britain. This is great.
I've already passed over 6 of them.
Who won the Super Bowl? Who was even in it? I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't. Don't care.
We did not watch the Super Bowl.
Oh, here's a cool one. January 18th, Boston Bruins retire Willie O'Ree's number 2 jersey on the 64th anniversary of his becoming the NHL's first black player. Willie O'Ree sounds distinctly Irish.
Sure does.
So I did. When I finished that sentence, I was like, oh, the first black player.
Started one way and ended another.
Yeah. Got me in that first half. Not going to lie.
The old Super Bowl. The Rams and the Bengals.
That's right.
I did know that.
I did know that too. But I care so little.
Yeah.
That it escaped.
The Rams won, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. They did.
Matthew Stafford, if I'm not mistaken, was the
yeah.
leader of
I don't know.
the crew.
Turns
With all
out
my-
I'm a beta male too.
With all my sports knowledge.
Yeah, let's see, COVID.
Oh well,
COVID.
The Queen got COVID. I'm gonna bring that up. She finally got it in February.
Yeah, and passed away, right?
Yes, she and we coincidentally passed away this year.
Yeah,
A couple months ago, wasn't it?
was. Let's see here. Okay,
Oh,
don't
that's
care.
silence.
Let me see here. January 19th, 5G cell phone service launches in the U.S. with airlines claiming it could interfere with airplane technologies, and rednecks thinking it will is a CIA plant to read your mind or whatever. I don't know.
Somewhere around this time in the early January, February, March is when Ukraine was in full effect, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And somewhere within that time, Elon had already activated the Starlink
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You remember the celebration
Yeah, I do.
he got?
Yeah.
It was huge.
He was the darling of the left for a long time.
Yes.
Now he's widely reviled.
1 month
by
later,
them.
he's like, "I'd like to buy Twitter for $44 billion."
And they were like, you are Hitler.
And then they're like, "You're Hitler."
Yeah,
And
you're
then,
literally
then he was
Hitler.
like, "No, it's not worth what I offered. I'd like to retract." They're like, "No, you have to."
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
And they were
why,
like,
why are y'all fighting this guy so hard?
they could cure. They were like, he can cure hunger for what he bought Twitter for, but then they printed like trillions of dollars to send to wherever and foreign aid and all that, and it's like, well, why weren't y'all? I mean, if we could just print some money and cure world hunger, let's do that.
Well, speaking of that, when he bought Twitter, that's what they accused him of. Is like,
Yeah.
oh, that much you can cure hunger, sure. Then months later, after he took it over, he was like, "You have a $13 million breakfast budget.
Yep.
That you waste.
Yep.
Every year.
Yeah, I know.
In one way or the other, you waste it, and they haven't donated one of those dollars to cure hunger.
Yeah, let me
and actually throw the food away.
Let me
Crazy.
clarify my stance. I care nothing about Elon Musk one way or the other. But let me say this. I absolutely loved the gnashing of teeth and the shrieking and the just crazy meltdowns when he took over Twitter. Like, this season of Twitter's been fun for me.
Looks like February 24th was when Putin announced special military operation in Ukraine to demilitarize the county or the country. Sorry.
When was that?
February 24th.
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's when the Ukraine started, and my oh my.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I remember this. This is
Russia shells February 28th, and we've been. I mean, is your profile photo Ukrainian?
No,
It's not.
no.
So you don't support them?
I support them in spirit of fighting off Russia, but I don't want them taking my tax money to do it.
Right.
Like all things
Something
being
don't seem right to me.
all things being equal, I don't want another country to invade another country, and I support everybody's right to self-defense. However, you need to figure that out. Now, anyway, let's see.
Another political rant from James.
Yeah.
Black Eyed Pea.
Oh, yeah, here it is. January 30th, NFC Championship, SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. LA Rams beat San Francisco 49ers 20-17.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember this, too, because talking about politics, January 30th, Portugal's ruling Socialist Party, headed by Prime Minister Antonio Costa, wins an unexpected outright majority in the country's snap election. Socialists.
I also saw the lady in charge of Theranos, I think is what it was called, the fake
Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah, the fake blood
Yeah.
company. She was sentenced or found guilty anyway early in the year.
Fraud.
Which I was happy to hear about.
Yeah.
She was a bad person. Will Smith apologized March 28th.
Well, it seems a little lengthy.
For what he did.
January 31.
Keep my wife's name Out your mouth.
with some expletives. January 31, online word puzzle, Wordle, bought for low seven-figure sum by the New York Times. I play it every day in the
Wordle?
morning.
I don't get it.
I get it.
I love games like that, but I don't get it.
I get
It
it.
just
You gotta-
seems too mindless. And maybe that's the thing, but
yeah.
like just put a word in it, a 5-letter word.
So
Anyone?
I
Like there's a bunch of them.
I start every Wordle game with the same word.
Okay.
Because I think it has a good.
I think my wife's got one too.
Yeah, it has a
It's
good.
like a
representation.
RSTLNE word.
Yeah, kind of like I try to figure out what it has, and generally I get a letter, and then you figure it out from there. And I generally get it in 3 to 4.
Is that word ocean?
No, stare. STAIR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stare.
Yeah, because it oddly enough, the first game I played, I guessed that, and it was number 1 or 2. I got it immediately, and I was like, I'm awesome at this game, and then I've just always
Does
used
the letter have to be in the place of the actual letter of the word?
So, you say I guess stare, and where I is, if it's there but it's in the wrong location, it gives you a yellow block. So it's in the word, but you don't know where. It gives you a green block if it's in the right place.
Maybe
you should play it.
Yeah, I've tried, but it can you go back and do different words?
Not once you hit enter.
Gotcha.
So
it just seems like, I don't know, it's too quick. Or do you sit there and stare at it for a while?
Yeah.
You do?
Ashley and I will sit there and lay in bed, and it might take you an hour to finish a game if you really want to win it and you don't want to run out of, because you get 6 chances, right?
Yeah.
So
you have kind of a strategic first word, and then just kind of go from there based on
what you get. Because I also have a second word. If I don't get any letters in the first word, I have a second word that plays off those, and generally start from there. Oh, here we go. February 4th, the Olympic Winter Games open in Beijing. Talk about something I didn't watch at all.
Yeah.
You know?
Neither did I. Did they happen?
Yeah, they happened. Dude, there's so much stuff.
Yeah, there is a lot on that one.
I'm gonna skip.
You know who we
forward.
lost? Bob Saget.
Dude. And he's been recently unverified on Twitter.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? I saw
don't know.
something about it. His wife is trying to get him verified again.
Yeah,
It's like a big
re-verified.
deal.
Who
Seems like a
cares,
weird
honestly?
thing to really make a article about,
Yeah, I know.
write something about.
Slow news day.
Um,
Bob Saget was
But I-
truly funny, though.
he was hilarious. Yeah. Taylor Hawkins.
March 1st, cargo ship carrying 4,000 luxury Volkswagen Group cars sink off the Portuguese Azores archipelago 2 weeks after it caught fire. You remember that? All those luxury cars catching fire on
Yeah.
that container ship?
I think one of our recaps or one of our
We talked about
conversations, we've talked about, not that specifically, but how many containers fall into the ocean every year. And it was like 1,500
Yeah.
containers just go into the ocean.
Yeah. It's
Apparently
crazy.
that was a whole...
We should start a salvage business. We know nothing about diving or ships or...
pulling up a rusty car.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, well, we're
We're
doing
going to pull up some rusty Toyotas from the depths of the Pacific Ocean. Sounds like a good business model. You got a truck?
And this is why I'm not rich. March 1st, U.S. President Joe Biden says Vladimir Putin has badly miscalculated by invading Ukraine in his State of the Union address.
Oop.
Do you know why they invaded Ukraine? Like, what the real reason is? So Russia,
Wants it back.
well, no, they don't really care about Ukraine.
Parts of it.
So Russia, most of their territory is worthless, right? Like, I mean, it's frozen tundra, it's desert in some parts. Like,
It's a lot of north.
yeah, exactly. So what they do is they go to those geopolitical natural barriers, right? Like deserts, oceans, things like that. And they control access points to shipping routes.
Like the mafia.
Yeah, kind of. And so, like, Ukraine just happens to be on the way to one of their, like, nautical shipping, centers, and they want it back so they can go there and put a military buildup and control that access point, right? So that's why they're doing it. They don't really care about Ukraine, and they do care about the farmland because most of Russia's not farmland.
Fertile land,
fertile land.
Yeah, production and industry is always good.
Yep.
I'm gonna every time you say something political or COVID related, I'm gonna say a comic that died, which
balance it out.
Actually, it doesn't really balance out now that I think of it. A dead comic and a terrible global story. Gilbert Gottfried.
That was another one.
Beloved comic.
Also,
that may just wear you out or you may love.
But also underrated.
Yeah, I agree.
He had some funny stuff, man. I liked his Joe Rogan episode.
Yes, I enjoyed the long form conversation with him. Naomi Judd.
Oh, okay.
Gone too soon at 76.
I guess.
Would you have known that?
Yeah, I remember. Now that you say it, I remember that popping up. I was not a big. I don't own the Judd's entire catalog. You know what I mean?
Texas honky tonk namesake Mickey Gilley.
Oh,
R.I.P. at 86.
Dang, I'm a fan of his establishment.
Yep, been there a couple times.
I should say establishments now, right? Because there's multiple Gillies.
Yep. Fred Ward.
Oh, dude.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That one hurts a little.
Yep. 79. Wouldn't think it. He's kind of looking old.
Tremors, man. Tremors.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was like on his mind at all when he passed, like as he's getting closer to death, if he was like, Tremors was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like
probably just rewatched it and that's what killed him.
Yeah, he's like, out of all the stuff I made, like Sweet Home Alabama, probably not, but like Tremors, okay, Ask me how I know
that stride.
Ask me how I know that he was in Sweet Home Alabama.
How do you know?
Because Matt and I were too hungover one day.
Did you get the remote?
In Vegas, and literally the remote was like on the TV, and we couldn't get up, and we watched Sweet Home Alabama in our hotel room together.
Ashley stunk.
Ashley probably bad, dude.
I bet it stunk.
Nothing but like regret over the money you lost and how many beers you drank.
Yeah.
Ashley called me. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm watching Sweet Home Alabama with Matt." She was like,
"Why?"
I'm just gonna.
She was like, "How far's the remote from the bed?"
Yeah. Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember it was an unexpected bright spot when Fred Ward popped up. I was like, "Oh, Tremors," So.
That's good.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta.
Oh, yeah.
67.
That's wild. I forgot about that or didn't know.
Yep. Couple big names there.
Oh.
James Caan.
Yeah, that's
he did
he was a good actor.
Godfather. Probably best known for Godfather.
I don't remember this at all. March 10th, after a 99-day lockout, Major League Baseball and MLB Players Association reached a new collective bargaining agreement. MLB teams set to play a full 162-game season in 2022. Had no idea.
No, didn't know. Glad they're back.
Yeah.
Pitchers and catchers report.
Report soon, right?
Ivana Trump, the mother of the Trump dynasty.
The past, right?
Or I guess his ex-wife.
Yeah, his ex-wife.
Right.
She wasn't the porn star, was
73.
she? 73. Oh.
I don't know what she did. A skier turned businesswoman? Is that what it says?
Oh.
Skier?
I told you, white people things.
Skier?
Yeah.
She was a skier.
Hey, I'd like to be known as a skier.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't realize this happened. I mean, I did, but March 13th, after a 40-day retirement, record-breaking quarterback Tom Brady announces he will play at least one more season in the NFL with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Turned out he should have just stayed retired. Let's see here.
Oh, crap.
What was that?
I didn't know my music was playing.
Oh.
No, the reason I was going to the music. Go ahead, sorry.
Nah, good.
Continue.
Yeah, I'm all right. What was it?
Tony Dow.
Oh. Do it.
Oh, man.
No, it's not playing.
I just messed it up.
Sorry for this.
Oh, you know what? It was just it was on a time delay, and that just didn't work whatsoever.
That's all right.
Hey, wait. Tony Dow of Leave It to Beaver.
Okay.
Died this year. There's one of them.
Hey, Coinbase price alert for Tezos is up 5.85%. Not like the rest of my crypto portfolio.
No. It's all down.
It's all down.
Bill Russell, Olivia Newton-John. Any of these pique your interest?
Nah.
All passed away this year. Bernard Shaw,
Yeah.
Jean-Luc Godard,
Oh,
91.
yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize he was still with us. Or, man, that's a crazy 91 years.
After 114 consecutive weeks as number one female tennis player, 25-year-old Australian Ash Barty makes shock retirement announcement, cites contentment with all she achieved in the sport. Girl power. Good for you, girl.
Did you ever watch Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, with my grandmother a lot.
Yeah, Angela Lansbury.
Yeah. She was
Gone this year.
She moved her family back to Ireland because of basically cultural rot in the U.S., I think. It was like strong move. You
I
know?
was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Was she originally from Ireland?
I think so.
She had a funny little accent,
Yeah,
didn't she?
I think she was from Ireland.
Jerry Lee Lewis,
Okay.
87 years on to the next plane. Are you a Migos fan?
As much as the next person.
But you probably know the guy's name that died
No,
from the Migos.
I guess not that big of a fan.
Takeoff.
Oh, okay. I
You-
don't know. Mm-mm.
Not aware?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Oh, is he the one that was shot in Houston or something?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember a lot of people being upset about it. I was
Dice
not.
game
Yeah.
gone
I mean,
wrong.
come on.
Was I think it was.
Yeah, it was. It was like a dice game gone wrong, and I wasted about 9 seconds of going, who's that?
There were two rappers that were killed around the same time
Yeah.
that kind of went hand in hand, but one of them was a dice game. I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
Aaron Carter,
Man.
which I kind of had to Google him because he didn't look like what I remember him.
Bath salts
Really?
and like meth and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I suspected meth.
Oddly enough, for some reason, I watched some sort of documentary-esque thing. I can't remember if it was on YouTube or Netflix or something about Aaron. Like, I don't know why I did this, but he's kind of a sad case, man.
Yeah.
You know, got famous real quick, then just wanted to stay relevant. Kind of like Corey Feldman these days. You see his recent stuff.
He's an interesting
I kind
cat.
of like it. Like
Corey Feldman?
yeah, because he doesn't care. Like, you know, he is seriously a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
And he kind of embraces it.
Yeah. I listened to him on Steve-O. I think it was Steve-O's podcast.
Oh, I bet that's a good episode. You know, I saw him in Vegas. He walked by Scott and I and Scott's brother, Mark. We were, you know how, like, I think it's in Bally's. We had to walk through Bally's. Like, nobody goes to Bally's, you know. Had to walk through Bally's, and they just had, like, you know how in like an old dead mall, like in Sherman, they have, like, vendors in the middle, even though no stores are.
Yeah, cell phones and
Yeah. We were
antennas that light up.
We were in this spot in Bally's walking through to the next street that had nothing, but there was like this one lone lady serving fireball shots at this vendor.
Yeah,
so we're like,
absolutely.
we got to take a fireball shot.
Yeah.
So we went over there, and Corey Feldman, dressed as Michael Jackson.
Hey guys.
Yeah, no, he walked by. He's about 5'0". He walked by with two ladies of the evening that were 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
And like his arms around their waist.
Men.
And they walked over to another fireball type shot, and they took a shot.
Could have had shots with Corey Feldman.
I probably
and
should have.
two prostitutes.
But again, how little I cared. I was like, oh, Corey Feldman. Lost
Right
Boys. Cool.
Donatello, man.
That's true.
Right?
You know, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. The correct one.
April 4th, Elon
his-
Musk buys 9.2 of Twitter stock, making him the company's largest shareholder prior to the purchase.
Corey Feldman's episode with Steve-O is a lot of into like the kid
Pedo
laws
stuff.
of the
and-
80s, which is very disturbing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was Steve-O. He had some interesting. He's changed up kind of the format of his show,
Really?
but like his early episodes are like really funny, oddball kind of characters from the 90s, basically.
Steve-O could be my friend. Like, I'd like to hang out. He seems like a really good
Yeah.
dude. I'm glad he's sober. Seems like.
Yeah.
Do you remember when all the Jackass stuff first started coming out? And I was like, I love watching these guys, but I could not hang out with them because they like cut your hair when you're asleep and stuff. Like,
It would
I
get
don't
old
have
at
enough.
some point. You got having to be on all the time.
it's
is
just
not
too
okay.
much.
Yeah.
I mean, look what it's done to all of them.
Yeah. Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Look, Bam Margera's got one foot in the
I
grave.
was
bro.
I was thinking earlier. You know, Prince Harry wrote a book called Spare, I mean, Steve-O, like, he's not writing a book called Spare. I'm
Right.
not saying that,
Yeah.
it's a fair comparison, but
Sure.
like Third Wheel, whatever, he's
Yeah.
hardcore into what they did, and has very little to show for it.
I know. He really they didn't treat him well financially with that stuff.
Sounds like it. He
Yeah.
doesn't get into
But he's still friends
too
with them
much of
all?
it. Yeah, I think they're all friends.
Yeah.
He
But
did
obviously
one with Bam earlier.
Johnny
this week, I think.
Knoxville got rich off of it.
Yeah.
Parlayed that into great success.
Yep. It's all about that producer role.
I liked hearing them talk about his tolerance for pain. That they all hated doing stunts with Johnny Knoxville because he could just take pain, really well. And they were like, it's always going to hurt, whatever we're doing.
It's fascinating to listen to
It
him
really
talk
is.
with Jackass guys and get their different perspectives and frames of mind and backstories, man.
So, did you watch the Steve-O Bam one?
The recent one,
Mhm.
I've listened to it.
Did
to
is he
part of
sober
it.
now?
The part I got to was where he is talking about going in and out and like how he functions on whatever medications he's on, and he gains weight on any.
He looks like Phil,
Yeah, he does.
and I find that
weird.
ironic because he
Yeah.
used to call Phil fat so much, and he looks just like his
Well, he's
dad
like,
now.
the antidepressants make me fat, and then I get depressed because I'm fat, and he's like, it's terrible. So he's like, I'm not on them now. And he was talking about like the whatever I forget what they called him, the Baker's Act or something like that, where if you appear to be a threat to yourself, then somebody can commit you,
Yeah.
basically. And he's been Baker Act, and they had a whole conversation about it, him and Steve-O, which I was like, God, y'all are way too well versed
in this.
in this. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Thank
Yeah.
God. But they all had situations where Bam was trying to, board a plane, I think was the situation, and he was trying to get to his daughter or kid, whatever. And they were like, you can't go, you're this or that. And he was like, I'm gonna throw myself off a bridge if I don't go. Well, he was like,
Said the magic
got
words.
committed,
Yeah, man.
or whatever the situation may be.
I'm gonna tell you what. If a talent scout saw one of my kids and was like, "Be great for this movie," I'd probably go, "No, thanks."
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing you a service by keeping you from this.
Quite possibly.
know?
Could be the best thing ever, but maybe not.
Maybe not. I mean, even look at like, did you have you seen the dude that was in The Walking Dead has a podcast called Real Ones, John Berthal or whatever? And he was on Rogan not too long ago, but he has podcasts where he talks to different people, and he had Shia LaBeouf on.
Yeah.
It's just insane. Now he seems together, but like
Yeah.
he's gone through some
The acting
crazy
world.
stuff. Yeah.
It is a strange world.
I don't know. I'm sitting here looking at all this stuff, and it's mostly either COVID or terrorist attacks.
Yeah, I know. It's scary. Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's, maybe I pulled up the bad one.
Yeah.
Gallagher passed.
Yeah. That's almost like a terror attack. Yeah. Let's see here. New Zealand reopens its borders to international visitors from more than 60 countries after being closed for 2 years during the pandemic. Way to go, you tyrants. May 3rd, U.S. government says WNBA player Brittany Griner has been wrongfully detained in Russia after being taken into custody when drugs were found in her luggage. I don't understand what wrongfully detained means. She broke a law. So I think it's a stupid law, but, Oh, here we go. May 4th. I got to say it. May the 4th be with you. First of its kind study of transgender children by Princeton University transitioning aged 3 to 12 found a vast majority continue to identify with their new gender 5 years later. Because if they're 3 to 12, they're either 8 to 17 and they're still kids. Talk to them when they're 35 and see if they made the right choice.
Switching gears to Kirstie Alley.
Oh, yeah. Man,
Cheers.
I always have a soft spot in my heart
Starlet.
for her because of Cheers.
Cheers, and
Were you
look
a
who's
Cheers
talking.
watcher?
Not as a kid, no.
Really?
I mean, I grew up around it. Wasn't my? I wasn't the demographic for that.
No, I was too young for it, but I watched it with my family, and I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved Woody Harrelson, Ted Danson, Norm,
Yep.
Cliff.
Loved the theme song as a kid. Remember it? It was one of those kind of soft spots, where you
Yeah.
hear that, you go back to that.
I believe that was written by country recording artist Steve Warner. I don't know that for a fact, though. Somebody
Yeah.
fact check me on that.
My wife and I did Cheers during COVID, like when that all started, we went back and rewatched quite a bit of it.
Nice.
Fantastic. I've probably talked about it on here, but that was a fantastic experience.
Really was.
Kind of for the first time for me. I mean, I've seen clips
Sure.
and hear and know it.
Here we go. Here's a good one. May 10th. Apple ends production of its iPod music player after 21 years.
Interesting. I remember complaining, like, I'm not going to get an iPod.
And then it was the best thing
And
ever,
I was
wasn't
like,
it?
this is good. This is a good decision.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
When I went to England in 2006, I got it for the trip, and it turned out to be awesome.
Yeah.
I felt so in the future.
Yeah,
Really.
totally. And it was so analog. Click, click,
Yeah,
click, 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 click,
the
click.
scroll click.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a bit much. Even at the time, it was kind of inconvenient.
Yeah.
I could play Pong on it.
Yep. Or
Did
Snake.
you do that?
You could play Snake too.
Did it?
Mhm.
Had Snake?
You could get Snake on it, yeah.
I remember listening to a podcast on it and going, this is dumb.
Well, because
don't
the
get it. There was
quality
no-
was no good.
Well, there was no content. Like,
yeah.
it was basically, and what I was watching was like a commercial from TV,
Yeah.
from a
It's like a long-form
network
commercial.
channel. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really bad.
Oh, here we go. This is COVID related, but plays into my hate for all things politics and government. U.S. Centers for Disease Control recommends COVID-19 vaccine for kids aged 6 months to 5 years, but don't mind the spikes in myocarditis.
Yeah.
It's completely normal for children to have myocarditis, you tyrants.
Just pick a date, and there's probably a CDC guideline that didn't age well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mike Leach,
Yeah.
Texas Tech fame, correct?
Yeah, they honored him not too long ago, I think, by
Did they?
playing his like defense or his I don't know, whatever.
In
I
a
don't
bowl
care.
game?
I'm a beta male. I don't know sports.
Yeah, it's okay. Pele, beloved.
No,
I didn't know he was still alive, to be quite honest.
I didn't either.
Brazilians live to 82. It's pretty awesome.
That is awesome considering the sheer squalor their country's in right now.
I mean, that's got to be one of the older
I would think
Brazilians.
so.
Speaking of old, and not in a disrespectful way, but R.C. Kuhn will be 100 years old next month.
Leonard's most senior man.
Yeah, so that's pretty spectacular.
July 2nd, earliest evidence for the use of opium from 14th century BCE found in burials at Tel Yehud, ancient Canaan, now Israel. They were getting lit, son.
On
You know?
opiates,
Yeah, they were just getting
opium
after it.
dens.
Just chopping up lines in their like little huts. Let's see here.
We got very recently Barbara Wawa.
Oh yeah, I didn't know
R.I.P.
she was still
Barbara
alive. To be
Walters.
honest, you know what's crazy?
93.
Barbara Walters, Anne
William
Frank.
Shatner.
No, Barbara Walters, Anne Frank, and MLK were all born the same year.
Oh,
That's wild, isn't it? Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah,
Good tidbit. That's why you tuned in this long.
yeah. I just found it on a meme. I don't know if it's true or not. So.
And then Pope Emeritus Benedict the 16th. It's in Roman numerals.
Public school
I think
kid.
that's right. XVI would be 6.
Yeah, what, did he pass away?
95 years old, like 2 weeks ago.
That's cool.
I always
I'm kinda
remember-
glad he passed.
I always
actually.
remember 4 and 6 in Roman numerals
Yeah.
because the joke, and my brother told me this, why don't Roman EMTs call them IVs? They call them 4s.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So anyway.
I don't care. That Pope was the leader of the world's largest kid diddling organization in the world. So,
Yep.
let's see here. There's 2 things I hate. It's the government and kid diddlers.
Kid diddling is not good.
No. Saudi Arabia unveils plans for futuristic 106-mile one-building city, The Line, to house 9 million people powered by renewable resources with no roads. Do you remember that?
No.
The concept art was pretty wild, dude. Like, it's like 21 stories tall or something, and it's just a big building that goes for 100 miles.
Wow.
And different cultural zones in there. It's kind of a cool concept considering, like urban sprawl and stuff.
Yeah. I saw today, speaking of urban sprawl, Universal Studios Frisco.
Yeah, saw
Is
that.
this true?
I don't know. I've always heard rumors.
Like that rumor, is it coming true? Like
it's
I was just
like WFAA posted it.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
So like that rumor could actually manifest here.
How do you feel about this? August 3rd. Cells of recently dead pigs brought back to life by researchers at Yale University with huge implications for organ transplants and stroke sufferers, as well as ethical questions over definition of death.
Sounds like a good candidate for Neuralink.
We need to get the world's foremost expert on dead pig cells on this podcast.
You think you can do it?
I don't know. Can we? We should.
I'm not educated enough to talk dead pig cells.
You know who I bet would do the podcast, even though he's got a bazillion followers, but I bet he'd do it because he'd find it interesting, is Lex Friedman.
Yeah.
I like
would
Lex.
be on here?
Yeah, I bet he would.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
I'd love to. Spike Cohen said he'd come do it. We just never have done it because I feel like I'll be disappointed if he doesn't do it. So I've never really followed up. But I wrote to him and I was like, hey, we'd love to have you on the podcast to spread the message of liberty, Mr. Vice Presidential Candidate for the Libertarian Party.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, so-and-so does my scheduling. Reach out to him. And I never did because I'm ashamed and self-sabotage.
Dude, I've landed some big-name guests here, and you're not following through on Spike.
I'm not. So let's see here. Oh, here we go. August 11th. Sorry, more politics. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says he personally approved the FBI search of Trump's property on the same day. Washington Post source says FBI search was for missing documents on nuclear weapons. I made no bones about it. I'm not a Trump fan. I did carry some water for him, but that garbage that happened that time, I remember being very angry about. Scotland becomes the first country in the world to make period products free for all. That's a notable moment in history.
Period products?
You know, for those who menstruate, I don't think we can say men or women anymore.
You're right.
Solange Knowles becomes the first black woman to compose for the New York City Ballet. Does it count, though, if your sister is Beyonce? Like, are you not privileged? I get it. First black woman breaking some barriers there, but like maybe they should have taken a really good ballet dancer from Harlem and not Solange Knowles.
Yeah. We should acknowledge Ketanji Jackson. I hope I said her name correct.
I don't know, but yes, I know who you're talking
Jackson,
about.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
I know I said her first name right. I kind of spaced her last name.
Well,
anyway,
we're completely failing at our.
I didn't do any research on it, so it just came out of my mouth.
Hey, doing good, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. She was the first black Supreme Court justice. Is that correct?
Why don't we Google that?
Speaking of politics, they just not to beat a dead horse here, but they just approved McCarthy as Speaker of the House, and they just voted until he won. Is that how it works? That doesn't make sense. I'm not familiar with.
Can I give you a hot take here? First of all, I don't like McCarthy at all. I think he's a spineless quote unquote conservative. That said, a lot of my liberal friends are on there like, oh, look at the Republican Party. They're so fractured. They're eating their own. I always said this would happen. Well, actually, this is democracy in action, right? So they said, okay, McCarthy, we will vote for you, but here's what we demand you do. And they put stuff in place like, I don't know, a 72-hour minimum time limit to read the bills before you pass 5,000 omnibus bills, single issue voting, so you don't cram $1 trillion for Ukraine into a veterans benefit bill.
Like that.
Right? Stuff like that. So what I said on my friend's Facebook page, I said, well, here's a hot take for you. Maybe that means we're actually not a cult and we're not just goose stepping with party lines.
It's a good point. There are multiple viewpoints and they're not all lockstep. If it was all lockstep, that means all of your spectrum of thought would be the same.
Yeah, I mean, look at it.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, the left loved Elon Musk and Joe Rogan until they broke with them in some minor ways. Joe Rogan's just like, hey, I vote for Bernie Sanders. I just think people should own guns. And now they hate him. He's an alt-right, misogynist, transphobe, So that's more cult-like. If you can't have a differing thought, come on.
Yeah, for sure.
I bet they like that goose step in the Nazis.
I have some similar thoughts on the phrase "whataboutism."
What about it? What about
I
it? See
hate
what I've been
hearing
doing?
it. I hate hearing that
So
because by definition, doesn't whataboutism mean that there is something that happened to begin with that is comparable?
okay, so
you know,
yes,
it says, okay, I know there's something that exists that you can compare this to, but I'm gonna speak down to what you're talking about and diminish it because you're just whatabouting it.
yeah.
Which,
So well,
it's a cop out to me.
here's a good way it's used, right? So say, and this is completely arbitrary. I don't know if what I'm about to say is true or not, so don't fact check me. But let's say Obama during his tenure said, "I'm not going to raise taxes on the middle class," and then raises taxes on the middle class. And then say you go next to the Trump administration and he says it and does the same thing, right? And then somebody goes, "Oh yeah, look at Trump, y'all savior," and you go, "Oh, well, what about when Obama did it? Were you saying anything there?" To me, that's good whataboutism because it's calling out hypocrisy. The bad thing is when it's
But when you
apples and
say
oranges.
but when you say what about, and now your opinion is
Invalidated.
invalid, then
Yeah.
then that's not okay. Whataboutism.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
So-
it means you just can't argue. Anyway, I just thought about that the other day. Whataboutism irritates me.
It does. Ireland
I don't want to argue
begins
anymore. Whataboutism.
September 8th. Ireland begins paying 2,000 artists a weekly wage of £325 and its basic income for the arts scheme. I like how they call it a scheme to help the creative arts recover from the pandemic. Boy, that's what we need to pay artists in lieu of in the aftermath of the.
We do support the arts, though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
However.
I support them with my money that I paid Jim or another local artist. I don't think you should be taxed for it.
I agree.
What if I don't like your crappy art?
Yeah, there's a lot of it out there.
Yeah.
I should be
We're
able to,
making it right now.
I should be able to overpay on my own for crappy art.
Exactly.
You know? That's the freedom I believe in.
Now, if there is a subsidy for the siren, hit us up on the.
I mean, if there's something out there, please let us know.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. September 14th, musician R. Kelly found convicted of further sex crimes in Chicago, including producing child sexual abuse imagery.
Oh no.
Beep beep. Toot toot. What is it? What's that song?
Can I get a beep beep? Can I get a toot toot? Something like that.
Oh. Have you heard the joke that one guy says, right? And they were like, "You can't listen to R. Kelly. He's a pedophile." And he's like, "Hold on a second. Technically, he's an ebophile." And he said an ebophile is a pedophile is somebody who is attracted to early stages of life. Ebophile is somebody who is attracted to like the earlier stages of puberty. And he was like, but you can't really discuss that without sounding like a pedophile.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're making me uncomfortable, man.
It's like trying to defend yourself from being an alcoholic without sounding like one, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. Here we are. That's everything's COVID or terrorist attacks, like I said.
Yeah. Skip ahead a little bit to Christmas. I think we had this discussion.
Okay.
You had a good Christmas?
I did.
Good. I like to discuss something, and I'm hoping it happened randomly at your Christmas. A notable toy of the year. Was there a toy in which
like Tickle Me Elmo or
a cool
something?
toy that stood out, or everybody seemed to like a lot, or played with, or
This year?
Yeah.
No.
I've got one, and maybe it was at your place. You just didn't notice. Maybe it went unnoticed, and you'll rediscover it. The little ball that has drone fans in it.
Oh yeah, we did get one. Yeah.
Did you play with it?
I didn't. My
Oh
kids
my
did
God.
though. Is it cool?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was really cool. The one toy, there's usually one toy that stands out.
Yeah.
That's got to be it for me.
That's cool. Yeah,
Oh,
no, that's
that's weird.
probably it. My kids played with it.
Yeah.
So.
It didn't do much for you.
No.
I'm a 10-year-old over here.
Yeah. What was your
Drinking beer.
looking back at your Christmases? What was one gift that stood out to you?
That's a good question.
Nintendo Entertainment System was a big one.
Yeah, of course. That was.
I got an
big.
assault rifle at 9.
That's
A
good.
Chinese-made SKS.
That's pretty
That
cool.
was cool. Yeah.
I remember one year was we got a little air hockey table. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Like a Discman.
Yep. Yeah.
Some CDs. It
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Like the old school Amazon gift card.
I got a truck one year,
Truck.
like a red F-150.
That's good.
Yep.
I
So
remember one year my brother got a motorcycle and I got a wakeboard, and that was pretty cool
okay,
because I got to ride his motorcycle.
yeah.
He rode it, but not as like I'd try to ride it more. That was good times.
All in all, a pretty crappy year for a lot of people, but a pretty good one for me.
Yeah, it was a almost recession year. Prices got crazy on gas. Remember that?
I think. Oh,
The
yeah. I drive
$5
a
gas?
diesel, dude.
Yeah.
I drive a
Well,
diesel.
I guess you still have $5 gas.
Yeah, it's 4 now.
Ugh.
So thank God.
It.
You know, with the so you think
We haven't
it's-
even talked like inflation and all those global bigger events like that.
I think we're going to see an ease in it halfway through the year. I bet the Feds lower
Jeez.
the rate halfway through the year.
It's rough.
I know. Ashley and I are thinking about selling our house, and if we'd have done it 6 months ago, we'd have made some killer money.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
So-
rates are up, eh?
Yeah. Well, you know, when you have under 3 rates, you can afford a lot of house.
Yeah.
But to afford the same house at 7, you got to make a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
I think your average person on a combined household income of like $150,000 could have during those under 3 times could have afforded like a $500,000 home. Now you have to make like $250,000 combined income. So I mean it hits you, you know. So,
The economy seems to be showing it.
it's fragile.
Fragile. Recession, not recession.
Yeah.
Depression, I don't know.
Yeah. Repression. I don't know. Is that some of that going on here?
I don't know. Something's going on. Hopefully 2023 wraps up a little better than that.
We'll see.
I started it really drunk on the Bourbon Trail.
I was
I know that much. Not really drunk. I'm just
actually-
kidding.
I had a beer on January 1st and didn't have a next beer till January 10th.
Yeah.
I went like 10 days without any sort of alcohol. It's crazy.
Very nice.
Yeah. Not that I drink. That sounds like I didn't even mean for it to happen. I was busy.
It's tough to do on the Bourbon Trail.
Yeah.
And starting off
Well,
in
that kinda would-
Nashville.
That would kind of defeat the purpose
Yeah.
of going to
Like,
the bourbon
no, I just
trail.
want to spit it out.
Do you have water?
Yeah.
You know?
I was eye dropping with water.
Yeah.
You
Feeling
ever eye
fancy?
dropped it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Opens up the floral bouquet of
Yeah.
the whiskey.
Opens it up.
According to the guy that was on Anthony Bourdain once that I saw that at, you know.
The lady we had at Willet described the bourbon as having some wang to it,
I see.
which
now
I'm not
that-
sure how it made sense, but it did.
It does, yeah. No, I get that. That's the kind of palate I like to, or the kind of flavor profile I like to be described as. Like when people say it is reminiscent of, it's reminiscent of an evening walk, of a twilight walk through hayfields in autumn.
No.
I don't vibe with that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I kind of find it funny.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess you can kind of go.
Makes
like,
me
"Ah,
want to
okay."
sneeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of.
Makes me go, why aren't I watching something on Netflix? You
Or
know,
eating
with
hay
a
in
Mick Ultra.
or eating hay in a barnyard.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
A little terra firma.
Yeah, we can get a little pretentious with the whiskey. You know, stick with your vanillas and earth and leather.
Well, it's interesting going to the beer tastings and going to wine tastings, which I've been to my fair share, and then I've never done a bourbon tasting like this, and that many of them, together like I've done wine,
Sure.
and it's all the same, a lot of the same kind of
Colloquialism
thing,
kind of.
yeah.
I
You just kind of gotta enjoy what you enjoy, and you
Exactly.
hear a lot of people say that too.
well, I saw a TikTok one time where they're like, oh, you know, your average white guy drinks his first IPA, and he's like, oh man, like raspberry in this, and the guy's like, there's not in that at all, and he's like, oh, but it's kind of like, well, you may have tasted it though. There's
Sure.
no wrong way to taste it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I like that attitude.
Yeah. So, I'm a big fan of those cultures, though, like whiskey culture, wine viticulture, beer. I love anything that takes like craftsmanship to do is cool. You know.
I appreciate all those things, but my palate is never like as advanced, or I never like seek the, next level. I'm very average in that.
Oh yeah, me
respect,
too.
Where the guy next to me is like ate up with it,
Yeah.
all giddy to tell me about his,
Yeah. How
goody points and stuff like that. Like that's
I'm
cool.
I'm pretty good on whiskeys and strong wines, like picking out different flavors. I get a little bit like maybe I smoked too much or something as a kid, but like on softer wines like Pinot Noirs and stuff, it's just tastes like wine to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's in here.
I remember from a lot of wine tastings, was it what's the Argentinian known
Like
for?
Malbec?
Yeah, the Malbec, the
Yeah.
peppery, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the one where I really was like, yep, that's peppery. I get it.
The first one,
The profile fit
yeah,
the liquid.
Spanish Tempranillo.
Yeah.
Like earth.
Yeah.
I'm like damp earth. I'm like,
Also,
yeah,
the
totally.
Pinot Grigio is grassy.
Yeah.
Like, grassy's the perfect explanation.
Or-
I get it.
or
Smell it,
different
love it.
feelings like a Chardonnay is
Mhm.
very warm and buttery,
Mhm.
or an unoaked Chardonnay is crisp.
Yeah.
You know? So I get that.
Yeah, I've had a harder time getting, I guess, that buttery
I don't
appreciation or
like it.
anything.
I don't like it. Chardonnay makes me go, "Ugh."
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not a Chardonnay fan.
I don't like much white wine. I like unoaked Chardonnay and like Sauvignon Blanc or whatever. But that's about as far as it
Sauvignon
goes.
Blanc, yeah.
Yeah.
I
They're
dig,
very
I dig
crisp,
that.
almost tart. I
Yeah.
like that. I love Cabernets. Like that's my thing.
Think
Yeah.
stone fruits
Yeah. You sounded like John Lennon
and
there.
dried
Yeah.
fruits.
What do you say there? Yoko?
Wolf sausages?
No, but I mean, look, whiskey's kind of hard to beat, though.
Yeah.
Really. You know,
Yeah, it really is. I wanted to go to this little place. I think it was in Memphis, where they do a whiskey ginger.
Oh,
It was on one of the maybe Zane Lamprey shows,
Yeah.
but they make their own ginger extract or juice
Yeah.
with the whiskey, put it in a plastic bottle, shrink it down, pump their own CO2 into it, and then pour it.
nice.
pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. Gimmicky. Cool.
Yeah.
Every time I see whiskey and ginger, I think of Scott. He always used to drink Jameson and ginger.
No,
You know.
Good little drink.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, well,
We about there?
I think so.
1 hour 16 into it.
Feels good. People probably tuned out a long time ago.
Yeah,
About the
2020
ninth COVID reference.
Yeah, for real. No, thank God we're past all that.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. I mean, not
Are
past.
we?
I mean, not past, but it's not like beating us down
No.
daily. That was such a miserable.
It was. It was terrible.
Oh, I resent them so much.
I hate them.
Oh, I've been commenting this on a bunch of political pages that, like, I'm just making a comment like on Joe Biden's page,
Uh-huh.
in which I thank him for trying to get reparations from the Chinese
Like
for
he's
COVID.
doing it
for
like he's
COVID.
trying
Yeah,
to do
like
it.
thank you for spearheading this this movement to get reparations from China.
Yeah.
They should forgive our debt, and it's so courageous of you to have done this for the American people. Thank you, sir.
You're familiar with the term the butterfly effect?
Yes.
How funny would it be if your sarcastic trolling comment actually
I did it
comes
to
up
Ra-
in the situation
I did
room?
it to Rand Paul just in case it might get taken seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think he's angry enough to maybe do it.
Yeah, Rand Paul is kind of like Diet Coke to his father's full flavored Coke,
Sure.
But sometimes
I've seen him argue.
Oh, the dude's on it, man.
Yeah.
He's not my favorite Republican up there, but
Yeah.
he's top 5.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
Probably him.
I like Thomas Massey
Yeah.
from Kentucky as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his.
I liked his arguing with Fauci.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciated that
Dude,
a lot.
he just dominated Fauci the entire time.
Yeah.
Always. Fauci's.
It's one thing to do when you're like a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a lawyer. You can argue, but
Yeah.
if you're a doctor background,
Yeah. I mean, he's an
behind
optometrist,
you,
but
it helps.
it does. Yeah.
It helps. I know it's not ocular surgery,
Yeah, but he has
but
an understanding.
it's an
yeah.
understanding, and it's better than a lawyer.
Yeah,
most
I mean,
likely.
I'm a weather forecaster in the military. I kind of get what Pete Delkus does.
Yeah.
I get it.
But
So-
you could probably read the traffic too.
Oh, I could. Yeah, I could do that. I have been vaccinated though, so hopefully I don't collapse on camera.
Me
like
too.
Some of them are doing it.
Mark that,
Mark that. Yeah.
please.
If I collapse and I have heart
Yeah,
problems,
look into it.
understand that I never had heart problems before.
Yep. Agreed.
So
Is that legally binding?
I don't know.
We need a lawyer now.
We do.
Damn it.
We do. There's a couple I follow on TikTok. Harvard. I think the page is called the Law Says What, and they give very unbiased, like non-political, just opinions on law things. He's like 7 foot tall, and she's like 5'2".
Okay.
They're an odd couple, but really cool page. You should check it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've had a couple suggestions and thoughts for coming up episodes. We've been trying to hook up with the beekeepers.
Yep.
And funnily enough, Rogan just interviewed Texas.
I saw that.
You see that?
I didn't watch
I was like,
the
man,
episode
it's very in line with kind of what we're doing too.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
for sure.
I want to get a hold of them. He ghosted me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna out him. He ghosted me.
Yeah, just said,
So I'm
yeah,
gonna keep
we'll
on
do
him.
it.
Yeah. He was like, but he was like, hey, can we do it now? And I was like, no, that doesn't work. But since then,
Yeah, he's like,
I guess he thinks I'm like
it's like, well, that dude ghosted
blowing
me.
him off.
Yeah.
The roping team, from the rodeo and the NFR.
Yeah.
NFR. The
National Finals,
roping team that won first place from Leonard, Texas.
Oh,
Trying to get them on with Cactus Saddlery out there off 69.
I was unaware.
Working on that.
Yeah.
I think I may have shared the video with you a couple months ago when it came
You did.
out. Yeah, I'd like to get them in.
That'd be cool.
Sherry Watson gave me some good Leonard, bring it back to Leonard and do some old Leonard football talk with some
Yeah.
old school
That'd be cool.
players.
Yeah.
You're down.
Back when they weren't collapsing on the field from heart failure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back then.
I would like to get some authors on, or somebody who's either written like screenplays or just some of that kind of art. I think that'd be cool.
Okay.
You know?
If you do writing, books, anything like that, give us a holler.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Until then, is that it?
yeah. I
You
hope
know what? I
everybody's.
was going to take it out with this song because we met these folks from Arkansas and Memphis, and they told us about this band, and I'd never heard of it. You may have.
I don't
The band is, oh man, just Jim Dandy.
no.
Hold on, that may be this. Oh. Jim Dandy, Black Oak, Arkansas.
Okay.
You ready for this? She was like, these guys were from where we live here in Arkansas. I don't want to make fun of her accent, but
That's what it
just in
sounded
case
like.
she listens, but she had a little accent. They were farmers up there. That's Jim Dandy, Black Oak, Arkansas. We're going to take you out with that. Y'all have a happy new year. We'll see you.
See ya.